I went to pick up my wedding rings, I discovered that I had 2 custom-made rings. One was mine, while the other one was for Mary Blackwell, a female college student sponsored by my boyfriend. I took the ring to question him, but I heard him talking on the phone. He said, "Please help me buy a house for Mary in your name. Don't let Cynthia find out." I did not know what people on the other end of the phone said, but I felt disappointed by it. What was more, once I asked about it, he just said, "I love her, I can't give up Mary." Later one let him go completely and let them both be together. After knowing that there were 2 identical wedding rings, my heart felt like it was being stabbed by needles. After all, I designed that ring myself. The inner circle was inlaid with the date we met and names of the 2 of us. That was why I did not expect that the other one would have the exact design like mine, with the names and the date they met in the inner circle. I thought that was something very special and unique to us, but in the end, I was just a complete clown. I smiled bitterly and put the ring that belonged to them back. When I turned around and left, I threw my ring into the trash can. However, I calmed down as I walked, as if I did not care anymore. After walking out of the gold shop, I felt the slightly cool breeze. That was so good, since it made my confused mind gradually become clear. Just when I was about to call Alvin Murphy, my boyfriend, to question him about the ring, I saw the message he sent me 3 minutes ago. He said he was waiting for me at a nearby restaurant. As a result, I took a look and walked towards the restaurant. On the way there, I was feeling uneasy, thinking about how to question him later. In my confusion, I finally arrived at the destination and followed the waiter's instructions. I saw Alvin standing in front of the window with his back to me, talking on the phone. He said in a low voice, "Please help me buy a house for Mary in your name and don't let Cynthia find out." When I heard that, the strings in my brain completely broke. It turned out that, just as I thought, the relationship between them was not simple. What about me? Who was I to him, actually? I looked at the familiar figure and suddenly felt disappointed by him. Even if I did not know what was said on the other end of the phone, I was sure it was something that would disappoint me. Soon, he said again in a hoarse voice, "I love her. I can't give up Mary." These words were like a basin of ice water filled with 1,000 pieces of ice, which poured over me completely. It was not only so cold, but it also made me completely calm down. Fine, since he loved Mary so much. I would help him. Thinking of that, I suppressed my surging emotions, raised my hand and knocked on the door. Hearing the voice, he hung up the phone for a second and turned around. Seeing me standing at the door, Alvin's eyes flashed with panic for a moment when he asked, "When did you come?" I faked a smile and said, "Just arrived. Who are you talking to on the phone?" He stared at me, paying attention to my expression, and when he saw that I didn't show any emotional change, he breathed a sigh of relief without showing any emotion. He walked towards me and pulled out the chair closest to me before explaining, "It was a call from the company, reminding me that I have a meeting in the afternoon and asked me to go back early." I nodded, not exposing his lame excuse. "Then serve the food. You can go back early after lunch." He called the waiter to serve the food and looked at me. "How is the ring? Did it meet your expectations?" My smile faded a little, and I nodded perfunctorily, saying, "It is pretty nice. But there's one thing that surprised me. I have another one exactly like my custom-made ring." After that, I didn't say more. Alvin's eyes moved slightly, his expression a little unnatural, when he responded by, "Maybe something went wrong. I will go take a look this afternoon then." I did not say anything about that, but my heart completely turned cold. He stared at me, as if wondering why I was so silent today. After all, when we were together, I was always the one who talked most. I liked to share with him the interesting things I encountered. I also liked talking in his ear all the time. He was very patient at first and would make a few comments from time to time. It wasn't until Mary graduated from high school and came to us that he became more and more impatient. Sometimes, before I finished speaking, he would deliberately change the subject, or directly interrupted me and told me girls are cuter when they talk less. You should talk less and be quiet. Under his sarcasm, I would get angry and grumbled, but he never coaxed me. Just let me vent my emotions alone. Later I realized how stupid I was before. It was not that he did not want to clear the argument, but he just did not care. His attitude was so obvious all the time, so why didn't I notice it sooner?